President Grudson, esteemed faculty and staff, honored graduates and guests, welcome to Global Ministries University's 2022 Graduation Ceremony. I'm Dr. Mary Ann Baker, GMU Provost, and it'll be my privilege to guide you through tonight's ceremony. I'd like to begin with some introductions if you're one of our grads this evening, and if you've invited a couple of guests along, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom to let me know so you can do a shout out to your guests. If you're a grad and you have invited some guests, do you all know how to use that? Go down to the bottom of the screen and hit reactions and then hit raise hand if you can do that. Deborah, would you like to just shout out your guests, their names, and how they're related to you?
Sure. My guests are first Samuel Trimboli, my son, and Caitlin Rose Trimboli Hare, who's also here. Hi, Caitlin. And I invited both of my children. And then I am so blessed to be a part of the Upper Room community. And I would love everyone from the Upper Room to wave. And all my friends from the Upper Room community who are here, thank you so much for being here and for supporting me. I'm just so grateful.
Okay, special welcome to the Upper Room community. Michael, who are your guests?
Well, as I mentioned before, I have my son-in-law, Kevin, and my daughter, Cinzia, and my grandson, Aiden, sitting on the couch next to me. You can't see them because they're not on, they don't have their own Zoom pictures. And then, of course, I was surprised and very pleasantly surprised to see Bill Manceau, who is my bishop in the Good Shepherd Companions. And of course, I recognize Bridget Mary Meehan, who was my thesis advisor, and Gerald, whom we already mentioned. I had met with his wife, Marita, in New Rochelle a couple of years ago when he came to visit his physician daughter in Westchester County. And I live in Connecticut, so it was an easy trip down there. Plus, I'm a former Salesian, and the Salesian provincial headquarters for the Eastern Province is located in New Rochelle. So I was able to renew some of my acquaintances with them, even though I attended seminary in California in the Western Province. But still, we all went to college together in Newton, New Jersey at Don Bosco College. It's now the Sussex Community College. And
Michael, thanks
so
for that
we
background.
had a lot of acquaintances. Okay, and I'm very happy to be here.
Happy that you're here. Any other grads have any guests here today? Okay, Anthony.
Okay, thank you. I want to introduce my wife, whom you can't see right now. There you go.
There she is.
Waving. And we've been married for 53 years and looking forward to another anniversary. What else to say? She's put up with my schooling all these years. I'm kind of obsessed, frankly, with education, and I love it. And she's steered me.
And I love it too.
She loves it too. She's a teacher.
Because I'm teaching, I'm still teaching.
We're both retired and teaching. She teaches at the adult school in our town of Newark, California, teaches painting, decorative painting, and she's a very accomplished painter, very accomplished painter, and pretty well known in her business of decorative painting. And of course, I teach literature, composition, and critical thinking at San Jose City College, and I've taught at a number of other locations as well. I'm a retired Fed. I had spent 32 years in the federal service and 11 years at Stanford And now I'm here.
Glad
13
you're
years.
here. Glad you're both here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Esther, did you have your hand up? Do you have friends or relatives that you invited? Just say their names and with their relationship to you.
I had invited my daughter back in Kenya, but okay, my name is Esther Nditi, and I had invited my daughter back in Kenya, and I think it's a little bit early for them. But then I have another lady friend of mine. We do ministry together here in San Diego, and her name is Eunice Jeremiah, and I can see she's already logged in. I'm based in San Diego, California.
Great, thank you, and welcome to Eunice. Anybody else? Did I miss any other grads with? Okay. Well, now it's my pleasure to introduce GMU's administrative staff. And I'm going to ask each one of you to wave as I introduce you, okay? Our Vice President for Marketing and Communications is Mary Acte. Our Registrar is Dr. Lee McCoy. Our Business and Finance Manager is Linda Gonzalez. Our IT and website director is Rick Silvestri. I don't know if he's been able to join us yet. Maybe a little later in the ceremony. Our university librarian is Judy Clarence. Is Judy here? Yes, Judy couldn't join us tonight. If any faculty are present, and I know you are, if any board members are present, and I know you are, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom so you can be recognized.
Rita Goodson is here alongside of me. So you want us to come over here, Rita?
I'll go to the other side.
She's right here, so
Oh, good. Okay.
she's also part of the faculty.
Okay, I'm seeing Mary Teresa Strack, Bridget Mary Meehan on our faculty, Juanita Cordero on our board, Bill Manso on our faculty. Did I miss anybody?
Their handle, their meme.
Oh,
Thank you all for coming tonight. You know what? Can we just have a hand for these people who work so hard every day to serve the GMU community and to make events like tonight's possible? Yay! And you'll be hearing more from our honored grads and others participating in this ceremony a little later. Feel free to post your messages to them in the chat. But at this point, it is my pleasure to introduce to you GMU founder and president, Dr. Gerald Goodson. Yay!
Thank you. I want to thank Mary Ann and all of our staff who are here tonight for all the work that they've been doing over the last really many years. We're over 20 years old. We started in 2001. Bridget Mary, who's here tonight, was part of the original group with Bill Manso. It's interesting, we have three of our founders here, Bill, myself, and Bridget Mary. So thank you for all the people who brought us so far along over these 2 decades. And also all of our graduates who've gone before us. We're here later from Juanita Cordero, who is one of our graduates, who's also a board member. And a lot goes into completing a degree program, particularly doing it online. Most of you have to fit in your studies with many other obligations that you have in your life. So that's the beauty of GMU. It allows you to go at your own pace and to work one-on-one, often with our faculty. And the projects that you have completed have been wonderful. And each of you may want to say a little bit about what your projects were that are graduating. But I know each of you has done wonderful work, both in your studies, but also the capstone projects you've done. So with that, I'll turn it back to Mary Ann and we'll continue with our.
So Jerry, you want them to talk about their projects now or when
I
you?
think when they have a chance to speak, if they want to, they don't have to go into that, but the
Okay.
project has been so wonderful. I think it's interesting for people to know what students have accomplished
Yeah.
studies with GMU and how it's affected their life, if they want to say that.
So as I introduce each graduate, I'm going to ask each one of you to activate that raise hand feature again in Zoom. So we all know who you are. Here we go. Michael Aparo. Kath Connolly. Lisa Gosiaco. Esther Inditi. Anthony Pino. Deborah Treese. For you graduates, I offer this poem. It's called Wind Watching by Kalisa Ray. What if Dorothy wasn't afraid of the wind? What if she welcomed the cyclone? The thought of being lifted, suspended in air as release. What if she saw it as an escape, being tossed and jolted? Maybe a change would occur if she shook fast enough. Maybe she liked not knowing if her body would survive the catch and release. Maybe being picked up and let go in another's chaos was freeing. I imagined she was raptured before the light of the day had kissed the earth. The swirl approached and she went willingly. Threw her head and arms back and let it consume her. Maybe she had been waiting to be swept off her feet by a wild, uncontrollable thing. Graduates, you surrendered to the wind of the spirit when you decided to pursue your degrees at GMU. We are so proud of you as you continue to respond to the Spirit's call. You have already all received your certificates and degrees, or soon will, and this is an online graduation. So President Grudson will now announce your certificates and degrees.
Michael Aparo, Doctor of Ministry. Kathy Connolly, Doctor of Ministry. Lisa Gosiaco, Master of Theology. Esther Inditi, Professional Certificate in Interfaith Studies. Anthony Pino, Doctor of Theology. Deborah Treese, Master of Pastoral Studies. Thank you.
Let's have a hand for our grads. Okay, and now I'm going to invite sharing by our grads. So a couple of things. The first one is, Jerry, as President Grudson just mentioned, is your topic for your project, for your final project for your program. You won't be able to go into great detail about it here, of course, but maybe just tell us the topic. We'd all love to hear. Why don't why don't you all put down those raised yellow hands, those all, that's it, yeah. And then the first one, each of you can just raise your hand if you would like to share your topic for your project with the group. Okay, Esther, your hand is up.
You want me to start?
Yes, please, your hand was up.
Okay, I forgot to lower it, but it's still okay. I can start. Okay, my name is Esther Nditi. Kaleli is my surname. I come from Kenya, but currently in California and residing at San Diego. And I have known Global Ministries University back from Kenya because I used to work with them in coordinating some activities for interfaith and intercultural programs and certificate trainings with the university. And I have taken a postgraduate professional certificate in interreligious dialogue. And my project paper was on conflict transformation and how it can and how I can use conflict transformation in ministry using interfaith and interreligious approaches. And actually, Dr. Mary Serjka was my supervisor and mentor. I really liked working with her, and because of the COVID, somehow it took a little bit longer, but eventually we made it. I'm very grateful for the program by GMU that can allow you to study at the comfort of your home.
Hey, you've worked with Dr. Grudson too in your studies at GMU, correct?
Yes, I actually started with Dr. Grudson, and then there's John Raymaker. And then I also did another course with Marita Grudson and Nihao.
Excellent. Kath, would you care to share about your project?
Thank you. I'm Kath Connolly from Melbourne in Australia. My final project was called A Handbook of Hope, Emerging Stories Beyond a Disintegrating World. And I actually turned it into a book. Here's the book. And which is being used as a small group resource all over the place. So when you ask how have I been using my work, it's extraordinary the number of, right through COVID, I was giving online presentations about emerging hope. And just last weekend, I was running a weekend retreat for a diocesan community about this very topic. So all over the place, I'm picking up all the things I learned from doing this research project and delivering online things or in person. And it's turned out to be so very topical. Handbook of Hope, Emerging Stories, very topical. And so I never would have thought that all the things I've learned through doing the program would time and again be used in the wider world. So for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa.
Hi there, Lisa Gosiaco, and my final project was a profile of an interfaith organization that I'm serving as board president of. And I profiled the journey of when it started in 1968 as an ecumenical organization and how it evolved through the years to become interfaith, and even how it continues to evolve as it addresses issues such as racial equality and healing relationships, especially with the local tribes in our area. So the way that I'm planning to use this is actually tomorrow our board is on retreat, and I'm giving an overview of the history for our new board members. And so just kind of building on this work as we continue forward as an organization and discerning where we're being called next. And I had the privilege of working with many different people throughout my time at GMU because I've been a student for quite a while with the university. So I have had a lot of wonderful connections.
That's great. Thank you, Lisa. I saw Deborah had her hand up.
Yes, thank you. I didn't really have a capstone in terms of doing a doctorate on that level, but I would like to share that during my journey through GMU, one of the courses that I took was on community chaplaincy with John Jeffries and a whole team of people, including Mary Teresa. And so one of the projects that I worked on with another student, Julie Coron, was to develop 2 8-week online courses for people with chronic illnesses or pain. And we presented for eight straight weeks a different modality each week that people could possibly use to help to alleviate their chronic condition, and then looked at the outcome of that from before and after using the modality in that hour-long program. And that was really inspiring to me, and I was grateful to be able to be a part of it and to develop it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's just one thing that that we did. I mean, I just really enjoyed working through this process. Thank you so much.
That gives everyone a sense of the breadth of interests of our GMU grads. So a second question. Oh, Michael, you wanted to say something. Please share. And then Anthony. Okay, great.
Okay, well, when I first saw the original list, without Anthony's name on it, okay, I thought, wow, I'm the only guy among all of these intellectual or women. Anyway, I was the president of the Interfaith Clergy Association locally around in Wethersfield, in Newington, Connecticut, which is one of the suburbs of Hartford. And I did my thesis on working with nuns. My courses had to do primarily with comparative religions. And I enjoyed so much studying about Buddhism. And I took a lot away from that in terms of my own personal spiritual life, and with meditation every day and so forth. And I also hooked up with a Zen Buddhist group in at Trinity College, an Episcopalian college in Hartford. But my thesis had to do with working with nuns, N-O-N-E-S, not the N-U-N-S type, okay? Although I work with them too. But anyway, and I really enjoyed that. It was enlightening and I think very helpful in my work. I do volunteer work. I say Mass every couple of weeks at different nursing homes, about 4 nursing homes altogether. And I have a Facebook page that is devoted primarily to the people whose weddings I officiated at, and including many mixed marriages, including Jewish Christian and Hindu Christian and different denominations of Christians also. So I found the courses very enriching, and I had John Raymaker, somebody mentioned him from, he was in, I don't know whether he's still in Germany or not. I had a Buddhist teacher from Thailand, and I tell you, it was just amazing. And I'm so grateful to all of our teachers, and especially people like Gerald and John and Bridget Mary, who was, as I mentioned before, my thesis advisor. So thank you very much.
It's wonderful, Michael. Thank you. Anthony, would you care to share with us about your project?
Yes, I would. A little background. I guess it was early January and I received a notification that because of COVID, I did not have enough students to fill up my composition classes. And that bothered me enormously. As it turns out, it was a blessing because it gave me time to work on what I regard as a pretty important project. The title of my dissertation is "The Roots of Compassion in Islam, the Muslim Commitment to Displaced Humanity." And it's about the fact that embedded within Islam and embedded within the doctrines of Islam are strong strains of compassion and concern for the immigrant and concern for those who are orphaned and otherwise abandoned. And this is an essential part of Muhammad's expression of God's word as he was ordered to announce it. Muhammad, peace be upon him. I'm supposed to say that, peace be upon him. Anyway, when I use his name. But it was, I found over 400 episodes and motifs dealing with the need for compassion and the need for assisting others and whatnot. And the reason I think this is an important work is because our perception, the North American perception of Islamic peoples is not a real a generous one, frankly. It perceives Islam as being very harsh and very strict and often authoritarian and whatnot. And I felt that I needed to, after having read what I read, I felt the need to turn that perception around. Anyway, I found it to be very fascinating, and I expect to be doing my day in and day out work. I expect to be honoring and supporting the faiths of many people. I enjoy the interfaith perspective on things. Thank you.
What a beautiful and timely topic, Tony. Thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you.
And now we'll go on to the next question for you is, I just want to invite you, if you have some kind of a highlight that you recall from your time at GMU or some special memory, if you would care to share that here. And again, I'll be watching for your hands to come up.
Well, I can contribute to this piece.
Yeah.
I think had a wonderful interplay with I'm sorry, her name is escaping me, Rose. Can someone help me here with Rose's name? She was formerly a priest, and when I introduced myself and asked her to be my mentor, she said, well, I was formerly a priest and I've been excommunicated. Anyway, I said, well, anytime you say mass up there in Canada, please let me know. I wouldn't be there. As a Roman Catholic, as a 78-year-old Roman Catholic, I feel that my church is suffering from the absence of women, the presence of women throughout the church. And I think we're badly damaging ourselves in that regard. Anyway, so that's my, I think that's one highlight that really popped into my mind. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's Rose Mewert. Rose Mewert, Tony.
Yes.
Mewert.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Teaches sacred art courses.
Yes. Wonderful.
Anybody else have a memory to share, a highlight? Something like, if you think of just kind of one of a favorite aspect of GMU for you. Kath.
Certainly, Bridget Mary, the way you responded so positively and beautifully and promptly and enthusiastically to each time I was talking to you, throwing ideas around. I really appreciate that friendship that was formed and the way you engaged with the work I was trying to do. So special thanks.
Great. Lisa and then Esther.
Well, I just, I mentioned that I was a student for quite a while. I began my educational journey. I think my first class I started in January of 2013. And I had some life situations that made me take a leave twice. And so my special memory is actually when Dr. Gerald Grudson reached out personally just to check on me after I'd been in absence and offered a lot of encouragement to continue and to finish. And so my final two courses, I worked with Marita and then with Gerald to finish up. And I just really appreciated that extension of support, as well as the ability to continue to reshape how I was going to go forward and the courses that I would take. So just a lot of patience, a lot of grace extended, and it was just very appreciated.
That is very special. Thank you, Lisa. Esther?
Yeah, during my study, one of the courses that I took was like Laudato Si, and the call for hope by Pope Francis, that has really inspired me. Okay, where I work, I'm living in a community of some other ladies, and it has really inspired me to share how we can be able to come up with a project that we are producing for our own consumption. So cutting down on the cost for purchasing of food stuff and producing our own fresh food as we take care of the environment. So I would really attribute a lot of gratitude to that, because it has made me become more interested in conservation of nature and also service to humanity. Yeah, so I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful having interacted with the Global Ministries University and the course that I've really taken that has brought me more, has empowered me more than I used to be before.
Thank you so much, Esther. Marianne just sent a message to me. Her computer went out. She's going to be trying to come back as soon as she can. So Jerry, just keep an eye out for her trying to get back.
Okay.
I noticed that Denise Haggart Stoner joined us late. Jerry, do you want to introduce?
Well, welcome, Denise. Welcome to our event.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back in. You were here earlier, right? And then you had
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
yeah, so I thought.
We haven't heard from you.
No, I'm an old graduate.
Okay. What year did you graduate, Denise?
Oh, just a year ago.
Okay.
September of, let's see, 21, I think. Yeah, so like a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm here to support Debbie tonight. So
Sure.
I'm very happy to be here. And
Yeah. We used to have our graduations in conjunction with the Federation of Christian Ministries. And I think the last time we did it was, since there were no meetings of FCM during the coronavirus,
Mhm.
we decided to go with the online version of graduation because it seems to work best. We could have done it in Chicago at the FCM meeting, but then for most people to travel to the cost of traveling and staying there for the meeting would be prohibitive. So this has been a great opportunity for all of us to meet online, even though obviously it'd be great to meet in person. In case you're interested, we're presenting at the GMU is presenting at the Parliament of Religions next summer in August in Chicago. And GMU is a member of the Parliament, and it's the biggest interfaith gathering, I think, in the United States. So we're scheduled to present there next August. So we'll probably have an event at the Parliament for anybody that is interested in going to the Parliament. Let us know. And we're arranging a GMU event for any of our students, faculty, friends of the GMU, anybody that happens to be going to that meeting. Breen and I will be there most of that week of when it's held in Chicago. It's a wonderful gathering if you've never been there. We've been several times. The last time we went was in Toronto, and one of our students, Ken May Davey, who's just finishing up at GMU, was there with Rose Mewert, who is a faculty member. So if you're interested, that's an opportunity for another gathering of like-minded people interested in interfaith. I don't know if Marianne got back in yet or not.
I don't think she has has, you would see that, Jerry, not me.
Okay.
It would
Well,
come
I
up
think-
that she's trying to enter, but
What I'll do-
she did text me and asked me to ask you to introduce Juanita.
That's what I'm going to do now.
Yeah,
I'm going to
okay.
introduce Juanita Cordero, who is a graduate of GMU. She's also with Peg Donovan, pastor of a house church here in San Jose called the Magdala Catholic Community. I want to make sure I got the right Magdala Catholic Community, which is also within the nonprofit entity that houses GMU. We've known Juanita for many years. She's also a big advocate for the homeless. She provides a lot of services for the homeless in the San Jose area. And she's also been very involved with the Catholic Worker House in downtown San Jose in its renovation. And recently we went there to see all the wonderful work that was done there to rehab that house that now has volunteers working there. And you name anything to do with the homeless, or anything to do with the Catholic worker, or anything to do with the Roman Catholic Women Priest movement, Juanita is there as a part of it. And she's also one of our board members. So I'm going to ask her to say a few words to honor our graduates. Maybe also say a few words about her own ministry, which emerged as she became a Roman Catholic woman priest.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. I want to say congratulations to all of the graduates. I come from a field of education. I have taught for 45 years, starting in first grade, going up into teaching at De Anza College for over 20 years, and Kaiser Hospital as a nurse. So education is very important to me. But after I was ordained, I got into the working with the homeless and Casa de Clara with the whole philosophy of Dorothy Day. And GMU has been a lifesaver for me. And I just have to share one little story. When I was teaching, I had a degree already. I had a master's in human development, but I needed to, in order to be ordained a priest, I needed to get a master's in theology. And then I went on to the doctor of ministry, but I thought, how in the heck am I going to do it? And it was because Berkeley only offered, at GTU only offered classes, during the daytime when I was teaching in college for classes full time. And so GMU was a lifesaver. And and I had really hesitated about online classes because I refused to teach online classes. I wanted to see the students and, be right there. So Lisa, when you said, how long it took me 11 years to get a bachelor's. So, I really admire what you did, because it takes so much time to do research and write papers. But I did tell my students as I was grading their papers, I too was writing papers that were being graded by professors. So I really honor all of you that have graduated, and it's an amazing journey. And I feel very honored to be on the board at GMU and to work with Bridget, Mary, and all of the staff. And then, and I'm also on the board at Casa de Clara. And I just, to be able to go out and serve the homeless is just such a wonderful thing. So thank you, all of you graduates. And Esther, we have a sister from Nigeria that is a Catholic worker, and she is getting a certificate in racial justice and chaplaincy. So she's working as a Catholic worker at Casa de Clara. So I taught in Uganda, and I just, I admire all of you that study so hard, and education is so important. So I admire every one of you for getting the degrees that you have just earned. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of patience, and, just to keep going at it, because it's different than being in a classroom. You're online, and you just need to have that drive within you to get it finished. So thank you, and God bless all of you.
Thank you, Juanita. Just one last comment, that GMU recently got a major grant to work in prison ministry. So we got this grant, and we didn't know who's going to want to pick up this education to be a prison minister. Well, Esther raised her hand and said, yeah, I'm interested in that. So that's a new field that GMU is going into. We have a instructor, a faculty member who actually is a prison minister in Texas, Father George Gonzalez. but we haven't had many people going into that field. So it's wonderful. Now it looks like we have the funds to support someone to go into that. And we're excited to learn that one of our recent graduates has expressed a deep interest in going into that. So Esther, thank you for expressing that. You want to say a word about that? You think you still want to do that, Esther? To go
Oh,
into
yes, yes, that's, I don't think, I am sure I want to do that.
So we're at the beginning of a new chapter in another one of our graduates' life. So life goes on and new challenges and new opportunities emerge. And that's the story of GMU. We're basically an evolving organization now, not just in the United States, but also in India and Africa. We have as many students outside the United States, including, of course, Australia, Europe, and now we have 15 students in India and 5 in Africa. So we're not just US based, we're truly global, to go with the Global Ministries University. So Mary Ekte, do you have any final thoughts you want to offer? I don't think Mary will be back, but.
No, Marianne is
There you
here.
are, there you are. I'm sorry.
But
I was
Mary,
trying to do a fill-in, Marianne, waiting for you to come back.
I didn't want to cut you off, Mary, if you wanted to say something. Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, I guess there was that poem. That was the cyclone. One never knows in something like this. So sorry for my temporary absence, though. And we're going to close now with the Reverend Dr. Bridget Mary Meehan, who is Dean of GMU's Ministry Programs, is going to send us off with a blessing.
So let us all extend hands in mutual blessing to one another. May the Great Spirit in whom you live and move and have your being delight you. May you discover a world of grace everywhere you go. May you wrestle with the unanswered questions and paradoxes in the great mystery of life. May your life's work and ministry be fruitful and blessed. May you set the world ablaze by living compassion and doing justice. Amen.
Amen. Congratulations, grads. Stay in touch with GMU, okay?
Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Congratulations, one and all.
Congratulations. Force be with you.